the point about qawiyyun, I mean, that you mentioned, right? So yeah, so I think I would probably also translate it into competent and trustworthy, right? So yes, in general, if you are competent, you don't need to lie. But what usually happens is that greed kicks in, right? So even if you have, and that's the difference between like the types of businessmen the Sahaba were compared to many of the businessmen from today, that they would find these loopholes and these ways to cheat other people and be proud of it, that, you know what, I pulled one over him, right? And people just like, but that is cheating. That is what goes against the amana, right? That if you are, over marketing yourself or over marketing your services and selling it for like a price like way above that what it deserves or what have you, or over promising and under delivering, these are all things against amana. And people who are qawi and competent do that a lot because they want to make more money. There's greed involved in that, right? So I think that, but then, so that is also something to think about. And before I say it, I want to make sure that people understand that when we're talking about mastery and most of the stuff that we're talking about, this means that you have already taken care of the basics, the faraid, the bare minimum, which is, as we discussed, your own salah and your jama'ah, salat al-jama'ah and what have you. And at the same time, you have done enough for your family.
Yes.
Right? Because that's another thing that happens is people start becoming this, okay, I'm going to bring this competency and I'm going to have a 9 to 5 and then my 5 to 9. And then when you start doing that, you end up ignoring your family and your children, what have you. And that's not something that we are promoting here. But beyond that, the point is that the excess time that you have, and what we end up doing is most of the ummah is spectator, right? So we are sitting here, we are watching, the Khabibs of the world and cheering, and we are watching, Pakistan cricket team, what have you. And again, if that's the only thing that we're doing, that's a problem. If you're just using it for enjoyment, that's a different thing. But if that's the only thing that's going to give us dopamine, and our own growth is not going to give us dopamine, and we're just like watching these people, we're watching the Muhammad Hijabs of the world and the Hamzas Orsis of the world and seeing them do the debates and what have you, and like, oh yeah, he did it for me, I'm going to enjoy it and celebrate it. Well, what are you doing?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What is the competency that you are building? So one of the things that I try to do in one of the workshops I do is that to figure out, again, beyond those basic things, what is the problem or what is the opportunity that I want to move the needle on, right? Whether it be the dawah, the new Muslims, the Qur'an, the business, business growth, social marketing, social media marketing, whatever it is, pick an area that you are actually going to move the needle on.
Yes.
And then secondly, pick your role.
Yes.
Because that's another thing. Because, right, I mean, so for example, this content that you're doing and the work that you're doing, may Allah bless it, there are many people that are helping with that problem, right? And different people are doing different roles, right? So you may be the content creator, the other people who are doing the graphics, the other people who are doing the emails, whatever, operations, and the coaching experience and what have you. So figure out your role and then figure out the problem that you're working on and try to be the top notch in that field.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So, use your excess time and put it in that instead of just like being an internet observer or internet spectator that 5-10 hours you're just like watching people doing their things and just commenting and liking and sharing and subscribing and maybe just getting into YouTube comments. Let's not do that.
Yeah, it's a very good point, by the way. I want to say be a creator, not a consumer. But I think you said it better. Be a creator, not a commentator. And they've got a word for this, comment tweeter. Have you heard of this? Comment tweeter. Someone who just tweets all the time, doesn't create anything meaningful.